Good afternoon. Welcome to Research Impact Assessment and Future Directions. I'm Unali from Silla University. From now, we will discuss how to evaluate research quality and plan your research journey. This builds on our previous sessions about method and ethics. By the end, you will have practical tools to assess your work and a clear action plan. Let me give you an overview of what we will cover this session. As you can see, we have 6 main topics. First, we'll talk about research quality. What makes research good and how we measure it beyond just counting citations. Second, we will discuss your research profile, how to build your presence as a researcher and document the real impact of your work. Third, research identify. This is about finding your focus and developing a coherent research program. Fourth, action planning. We will create both short-term and long-term goals that are realistic. Fifth, overcoming challenges. Because every researcher faces obstacles and we need strategies to handle them. And finally, we will explore some specific methodologies, including mixed method, digital approach, and Q methodology. Are there and okay, let's begin. What will you be able to do after this session? Let me highlight 5 key learning outcomes. First, understanding research impact. You will recognize that impact has many dimensions. It is not just about citations. Your work can have impact in schools, in policy, in communities. Second, exploring methodologies. You will understand emerging approaches and how to choose the right method for your questions. Third, evaluating research quality. You will learn to apply quality assessment frameworks and understand what standards matter in your field. Fourth, developing research plans. You will create concrete short and long-term goals that align with your strengths. And fifth, building research careers. You will develop sustainable strategies to build your profile and prepare for opportunities. These are not just theoretical ideas. By the end of today, you will have practical plans you can start implementing immediately. Before we move forward, let's quickly review what we covered in previous sessions because today's content builds on those foundations. In session 1 on quantitative research, we learned about rigorous measurements, statistical analysis, and how to calculate effect size properly. In session 2 on qualitative research, we explored in-depth understanding through coding and thematic analysis. In session 3 on ethics and publish, we discussed protecting participants, getting informed consent, and navigating the peer review process. Today, we will bring all of these together and looking at the bigger picture. How does all this research fit into your career? How do you evaluate its quality and impact? This is probably one of the most important questions we will discuss today. What makes research good? The key point is this: research quality is multidimensional. You cannot judge research by just one number, not just citations, not just the journal rankings. Good research demonstrates excellence across multiple dimensions. Let me explain four critical dimensions. First, methodological quality. This means your design is rigorous, your methods are appropriate for your questions, your procedures are clear, and others could reproduce your work. Now, this is the foundation. Second, theoretical contribution. Does your research advance knowledge? Does it provide new insights? Does it connect to existing theories and generate your new questions? Good research doesn't like repeat what we already know. Third, practical significance. This is especially important for education research. Is your work relevant to real-world problems? Can teachers use your findings? Will it inform policy? Does it help students? Fourth, ethical conduct. You must protect participants. Conduct research with integrity. Be transparent about limitations and acknowledge everyone who contribute. All four dimensions matter. A study might have perfect method, but if it is not ethical, it is not good research. A study might be highly cited, but if it doesn't help anyone in practice, we should question its value. Questions about these dimensions. Now let's talk about the metrics you will encounter in academic life. These are the traditional ways people measure research impact. At the individual level, you will hear about the ACE index. This measures both your productivity and citation impact. Total citations, your overall influence in the field. Citations per paper, the average impact of your publications. At the journal level, there is impact factor or IF. This is the average number of citations per article in the journal. Quartile rankings from Q1 to Q4. This shows the journal's position in its field. Site score, an alternative to impact factor. Now, these metrics can be useful, but they have important limitations, especially in the Philippine text. First, field differences in education impact factor typically range from 1 to 5. That's much lower than medicine or engineering, but it doesn't mean education research is less important. Second, career stage matters. A new PhD graduate cannot be compared to a professor with 20 years of experience. Third, there is time lag. It takes years for citations to accumulate. Your excellent paper published this year might not show how citations for 2, 3 years. And here is something crucial for your context. Regional journals may have lower impact factor, but very high local impact. If your research influences depth added policy or changes teaching practices in Philippine schools, that matters even if it is not in a high impact factor journal. Teacher use of your research is often uncaptured by these metrics. So use these metrics, but don't be controlled by them. They are one piece of information, not the whole story. Let's expand our view. Research impact extend far beyond citations. Alternative indicators provide a more comprehensive view of how your work influences the world. Let's look at 4 categories. First, altmetrics. These are alternative metrics. These include social media mentions, downloads and viewers, news coverage, citations in policy documents, online discussions, bookmark. If people are talking about your work online, that is impact. Second, practice impact. This is huge for education research in the Philippines. Is your work used in teacher training program, adopted by schools, cited in curriculum development, reported in depth ed materials, implemented by NGOs working in education? Third, teaching impact. Has your research improved student outcomes, enhanced teaching practices, influenced the teacher education programs, changed classroom approaches? Fourth, community engagement. Are you running workshop for teachers, giving public presentations, doing media interviews, writing blog posts, participating in community forums, educating parents? All of these are legitimate forms of impact. If your research helps even one teacher improve their classroom, that is real impact that might never show up in citation counts. Think about your own research. Where do you see impact beyond citations? Now, it is your turn. This exercise helps you evaluate your current or planned research. You are going to rate your research across 4 dimensions on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest quality. For methodological rigor, ask yourself, is my design appropriate for my questions? Are my methods sound and well executed? Can others reproduce my work? Is my analysis rigorous? And for theoretical contribution, does it advance knowledge in the field? Is it original or innovative? Does it fit gaps in literature? Does it generate new questions? And for practical significance, does it address real problems in education? Can practitioners use the findings? Will it influence policy or practice? Does it benefit students? And for ethical conduct, are participants fully protected? Is it conducted with integrity? Am I transparent about limitations? Is the research socially responsible? Take 5 minutes now. Write down your ratings. Be honest with yourself. Identify your strengths and areas where you need to improve. It is about knowing where you are so you can plan where to go. Building your research profile is essential for your career. Let me give you 4 concrete actions you should take. And not someday, but soon. Yeah, first get an ORCID. This is the unique research identifier, like a digital fingerprint for your academic work. Many journals now require it. It connects all your publications across different platforms. Go to orcid.org and create one today. It takes 5 minutes. Second, join ResearchGate or academia.edu. And these platforms let you share your papers, connect with your researchers, and get notified when someone cites your work. They increase your visibility. Third, create a Google Scholar profile. This is free and easy to set up. It automatically tracks citations to your work and make your research discoverable. Potential collaborators can find you. When people search you for your research topic, your profile appears. Fourth, maintain your CV. Keep an updated publication list. Include presentations, not impact beyond citations. Did the school use your findings? Did you train teachers? Document everything. Finally, tell your story. Can you answer these 3 questions? What problem do you study? Why does your work matter? What have you discovered? Practice your answer. Make it clear and compelling. You should be able to explain your research to anyone in 2 minutes. OLCID or Google Scholar profile. Uh, you don't have it? If you don't, well, this is homework. Yeah, do it this week. And let's show you how to create an effective impact narrative. An effective narrative connects your research to real-world outcomes. Here is an example. My research on multilingual education in rural Philippine schools has been published in 2 journals, presented at 3 conferences, informed depth edu training program in Region 12, and reached over 300 students in pilot schools. See what this does. It shows what you studied, multilingual education, where rural Philippine schools, academic outputs, publication and presentations, practical impact, depth edu training, real-world reach, 300 students. Now, how do you document these real change? 4 categories. First, identify who has benefit from your work. Keep a list: teachers, students, schools, communities. Second, collect uh, testimonials from practitioners. When a teacher tells you, your research helped me understand my multilingual students better, write that down. Ask if you can quote them. Third, document changes in policy or practice. Did the school adopt your recommendations? Did uh, DepEd reference your work? Keep evidence. Fourth, trace improvement in student outcomes. If you can show that students are improved because of your research, that's powerful. Start documenting now, not later. And keep a folder, digital or physical, where you save all evidence of impact. Screenshots of social media mentions, emails from teachers, photos from workshops, letters from schools. All of these builds your impact narrative. Your impact narrative becomes part of your CV, your job applications, your grant proposal. It shows that your research matters. Let me speak directly to you as Filipino graduate students. You have unique strengths that you should leverage. First, your strengths. You have excellent English communication skills. That is a huge advantage in international publishing. You understand the Philippine education context deeply. You lived it, experienced it. Second, realistic publication timeline. For master's students, aim for one or two papers in local and regional journals. For a PhD student in year one or two, aim for one Scopus, maybe. Uh, these are achievable goals. Don't compare yourself to professors who have been publishing for 20 years. Third, success factors, and this is important. Choose research topics you are passionate about. If you don't care about your topic, you won't finish. Work with supportive mentors. Find advisors who respond to email, who give constructive feedback, who believe in you. Let me be clear, you can do this. Filipino research are making important contributions to education research globally. You have something valuable to say about Philippine education that international researchers cannot say. Your perspective matters. Before you can plan your research journey, you need to answer three foundational questions. These will guide everything else. Question one, what problem fascinates you? What keeps you awake at night thinking about education? What frustrates you about Philippine education system? What do you desperately want to change? Your research should be driven by genuine curiosity and passion, not just what you think will get published. Question two, what are your strengths? Are you good with numbers and statistics? quantitative skills? Or do you prefer interviews and observations, qualitative skills? Do you have strong writing abilities? Are you good with people, not networking, interviewing, facilitating? Build your research program around your strengths while developing your weakness. Question 3. What is your long-term vision? Do you see yourself in a faculty position at a university, a policy role at DepEd or other government agencies, school leadership as a principal or administrator, an independent researcher or consultant? Different visions require different research approaches. Take a moment and write down your answers to these 3 questions. Be honest. Your answer might surprise you, and your answer might change over time. That's okay. These 3 questions, fascination, strengths, and vision, they form the foundation of your research identify. Everything we do next builds on these answers. Many graduate students think of research as separate project. One study for your thesis, another study for class, another for publication. Be successful researchers think differently. They think in terms of research programs. What is the difference? One, a project lack coherence. They do not connect to each other. You become a generalist, knowing a little about many things, but not deeply expert in anything. A research program builds systematic inquiry. It is a series of connected studies that build on each other. They create a clear line of investigation. You become known for expertise in a specific area. Let me give you an example research program. Teacher resilience in Philippine schools. Study 1. What challenges do teachers face? Qualitative exploration. Study 2. How common are these challenges? This is quantitative survey. Study 3. That strategies do resilient teachers use? This is mixed method. Strategies and study 4. Testing on intervention to build resilience. This is experimental study. Study 4, policy recommendations based on all previous studies. See how each study connected. Each one answer new question, but also builds on previous findings. The benefit of a research program. First, you develop deeper expertise in a specific area. You become the person people think of her for this topic. Second, publishing becomes easier. Your second paper on teacher resilience is easier than your first because you already understand the literature. You have connect. You know which journals. Third, you have greater impact on the field and practice. A series of connected studies is more influential than a scattered project. First, you develop a clear research identify. When people ask, what do you study? You have a clear, confident answer. Think about your research interest. Can you identify a research program, a series of connected studies? What would your program look like? Let's get practical. What will you do in the next 6 months? I'm going to give you a framework with 4 categories. Academic task. These are your core research activities. Finalize your current research project. Set a deadline. Submit at least one paper to a journal. Don't wait for perfect. Attend one conference, local or international, even virtual. Read 10 papers in your research field. Build your knowledge. And networking, because research is social. Join or create a writing group. Accountability helps. Connect with 3 new researchers at conferences online through your advisor. Meet with your mentor monthly. Regular meetings, even if brief. Participate in academic discussions at seminars, online forums, and skill development. Always been running. Conflict one methodology course or workshop. Practice a new analysis technique. Maybe try a different statistical test. Improve one software skill, SPSS, NVivo, R, whatever you need. Run one new research method, expand your toolkit. Professional profile, build your visibility. Create your Google Scholar profile. Update your academic CV. Register for ORCID identifier. Join ResearchGate or Academia Edu. Now let's think bigger. Where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years? You need 3 types of goals. Academic goals, be specific. Publication topic targets, start with local journal, move to Scopus indexed, and then SSCI if that is your goal. Degree completion timeline. When will you defend? What are the milestones? For example, by 2027, I will have my PhD with 3 Scopus publications and 2 local journal articles. Clear development. What's your target position? Faculty at a state university, researcher at a think tank, policy advisor at DepEd. What skills and experiences do you need? If you want a faculty position, you need teaching experience. If you want policy work, you need policy analysis skills. Impact goals and personal life. Who will your research help? Be specific. Rural teachers, multilingual students, public student school administrators. Balance professional goals with personal needs. Do you need to support your family? Do you want children? Will you need to work while studying? Here is the truth. your 3 to 5 year vision will probably change. That's normal. But having a vision, even if it changes, helps you make better decisions now. When someone offers you an opportunities, you can ask, does this move me toward my 3 to 5 year vision? If yes, say yes. If no, maybe say no. Take a few minutes. Write your 3 to 5 year vision. What does success look like for you? Remember, your vision is yours. Don't compare yourself to others. Your path is unique. Don't be honest. Research careers are challenging, especially in the Philippine context. Let me name 4 common obstacles and give you strategies to overcome them. First, too much teaching load. Many Filipino faculty teach 20 to 30 hours per week. How do you find time for research? Schedule research time like teaching classes. Put it in your calendar. Treat it as non negotiable. Integrate research into teaching when possible. Can your students have correct data? Can your teaching inform your research? Discuss workload with department leadership. Be respectful but advocate for research time. Second, limited fundings. Most Philippine universities have a small research budget. And what do you do? Begin with small, non-cost research project. Not every study needs expensive equipment. Apply for small grant before larger ones. Build a track record. Form collaborations to share resources. Pool money, share equipment, divide labor. Third, feeling isolated, especially if you are only one in your department doing research. Join online research communities, Twitter, Facebook, ResearchGate, creating or join writing groups. Even virtual ones work. Attend conferences, even virtual ones, make connections. Connect with alumni, former students of your program who are now researchers. Fourth, fear of rejection. Every researcher faces rejection. Papers rejected, grants not funded. Reframe rejection as variable feedback. Reviewers often give you ideas to improve. Remember, all researchers face rejection. Even famous professors have rejected papers. Prepare backup plans. Have 2 or 3 potential journals identified. Learn from each attempt. What can you improve next time? These obstacles are real, but they are not insurmountable. Persistence and creative problem solving are essential. Let me talk about something many of you are feeling but might not say out loud. Imposter syndrome. This is the feeling that you're not really good enough, that you don't belong, that you were just faking, and someone will discover you were a fraud. Let me tell you, this is incredibly common, especially among graduate students and uh, early career researchers. I felt it. Your professors have felt it. It's normal. But you need strategy to manage it. Here are four. First, track your accomplishment. Document all achievement, not just the big ones. Include small wins. Finish the literature review. Run a new statistical test. Review this list regularly, especially when you are adapting yourself. Use it as evidence against that voice saying you are not good enough. Second, share your struggles. Connect with peers about these feelings. Normalize these challenges. Everyone feels this way sometimes. Create a support system where you can be honest. Learn from others' experiences. Third, remember you belonging. You earned your position. You were admitted because you were qualified. Your perspective matters. Your experience of Philippine education is valuable. Diversity strengthens research. We need different voices. Your work has value, even if it is not perfect. Fourth, focus on growth. Embrace a learning mindset. You are here to learn, not to already know everything. Compare yourself to your past self only, not to others. Seek constructive feedback. It helps you improve. Celebrate improvement, even small improvements. Here's what I want you to understand. Feeling like an imposter doesn't mean you are an imposter. It often means you are challenging yourself, pushing into new territory. That is exactly what research should do. When the voice in your head say you are not good enough, respond with I'm still learning and that's okay. I belong here. Now let's talk about methodology. Mixed method research is becoming increasingly popular, especially in education research. Let me explain what it is and why it's valuable. Mixed uh, method integrates quantitative and qualitative approach in a single study or research program. Think about what which approach offers. Quantitative gives you breadth, generalizability, statistical power. You can say X% of teachers experience this problem. Qualitative gives you depth, understanding, context. You can say, here's why teachers experience this problem and what it means to them. Together, they create a more complete research picture. Why mixed method? First, you can address complex research questions that one method alone cannot answer. Second, you compensate for limitations. Quantitative data might show what is happening, but qualitative explains why. Third, you provide stronger evidence. When both methods point to the same conclusion, your findings are more convincing. Fourth, you enhance understanding. Numbers tell part of the story, but stories give those numbers meaning. Common mixed method designs explanatory sequential. You start with quantitative, then use call to qualitative to explain the quantitative results. Exploratory sequential. You start with qualitative to explore a topic, then use quantitative to test with a larger sample. Convergent. You collect quantitative and qualitative data simultaneously and merge them. Embedded. One method is embedded within a primarily different method. You don't have to use all methods in every study. Choose based on your research question. Let me give you concrete examples of mixed method in Philippine education research because I want you to see how this work in your context. Example 1. You want to study student achievement in multilingual classrooms. Quantitative. Collect student achievement scores from standardized tests. Qualitative. Interview students about their learning experience. Together, you can show not just whether students in multilingual classrooms perform differently, but why and how their experience shape their learning. Examples 2. You are studying teaching method in public schools. Quantitative. Survey teachers about which methods they use and how often. Qualitative. Observe classroom to see how teachers actually implement these methods. Together, you discover if what teachers say they do matched what they actually do, and you understand the constraints they face. And example 3, you are evaluating education reforms. Qualitative, analyze policy document and implementation statistics. Qualitative, collect implementation stories from school showing what actually happens on the ground. Together, you see not just the policies on paper, but the reality in schools. Benefits for the local context. Mixed method is growing trend in Philippine education research because it gives comprehensive understanding. It captures unique cultural and social factors affecting educations the number alone might miss. It provides both statistical evidence and rich contextual understanding. It addresses complex educational challenges in the Philippine setting where context matter enormously. It balances international research standards with local relevance. This approach is particularly powerful for Philippine researchers. You understand the local context in ways international researchers cannot. Method let you show both the breadth of issue and the depth of cultural understanding. Think about your research topic. Could mixed methods strengthen your study? Let me talk about two important trends in research methods that are particularly relevant for uh, researcher. First, online data collection. COVID-19 changed the research forever. Digital methods are now a normal part of research toolkit. What does this include? Online survey using Google Forms or SurveyMonkey, video interviews through Zoom or Teams, virtual focuses groups, social media analysis. Advantage for your context. Reach remote areas across the Philippines. You don't need to travel through every island. Lower cost than traditional methods and no transportation expenses. Faster data collection, easy recording and transcription. And most platforms have this built in. The COVID-19 impact, we've seen accelerated adoption of digital method. What was once considered second best is now normal. Hybrid approaches are often most effective. Combine online and face-to-face where possible. Second, participatory research. This is research with people, not on people. What is it? Community members become co-researchers, not just subjects. They are partners in the research process. It's action-oriented and collaborative. Key principles, shared decision-making. The community helps decide research questions. Community benefits. The research must help the community. Capacity building. Community members learn research skills. Action-oriented. The goal is change, not just knowledge. Why use participatory method? Reliance, relevance, and trust. You get more relevant research outcomes because the community shaped the questions. You build greater trust. You get better access to participants. You gain authentic cultural understanding. Practical impact. The research has immediate practical applications. It empowers participants. Solutions address real needs as defined by the community. Knowledge stay in the community, not just in journals. I want to introduce you to a methodology that's perfect for education research, not but widely used yet in the Philippines, Q methodology. What is Q methodology? It is just systemic studies of subjectivity, how people think about issues. It helps you understand the different viewpoints on a topic. It combines quantitative and qualitative approaches in a unique way. How does it work? 4 steps. First, you collect statements about a topic. For example, If you are studying what makes a good teacher, you collect 40 to 50 statements from literature, interviews, and observations. Second, participants sort these statements from most agree to most disagree. They create a forced distribution, like sorting cards into piles. Third, you do statistical analysis, factor analysis to identify patterns in how people sorted the statements. The reveals distinct viewpoints. First, you interpret these different perspectives qualitatively. You interview participants to understand why they sorted a statement that way. Why is the valuable for education research in the Philippines? First, it is perfect for capturing complexity with small samples. You only need 30 to 40 participants, not 300 people. Second, it reveals unexpected perspectives. You might discover viewpoint you never imagined existed. Third, it provides rich qualitative understanding plus quantitative data. It is truly mixed method. Fourth, it is excellent for studying belief, values, and attitudes, things that are hard to measure with traditional surveys. Uh, Now I'm just introducing Q methodology today. We have an upcoming workshop, maybe November, where you can learn it in depth. Let me tell you about the upcoming Q methodology workshop because some of you might want to learn this method in depth. The workshop has three main components. First, theoretical foundations. Second, practical skills. This is hands-on training. Developing Q samples, design Q sort, recruiting participants, conducting Q sort, data analysis techniques. And this is particularly valuable if your research involves that workshop is next month. Information is available at the end of this presentation. I encourage you to consider it, especially if your research involves understanding different perspectives on educational issues. As we move toward wrapping up, let me share 5 key principles you guide successful research in Philippine education. These principles will help you through challenges and ensure your work is meaningful. Principle 1, be rigorous. Principle 2, be ethical. Principle 3, be relevant. Principle 4, be persistent. Success in research isn't about being brilliant. It is about being persistent. And principle 5, be collaborate. These 5 principles, rigorous, ethical, relevant, persistent, and collaborative, will guide you through your entire research career. Which principle resonate most with you? Which do you need to work on? And principle 6, be strategic. And principle 7, be balanced. Principle 8, be collaborative. Now, equally important, let me tell you not to do. Don't fall into perfectionism. Done is better than perfect. You can always improve later. Revise and resubmit exist for a reason. Progress, even perfection. Finished is better than perfect, but never completed. Waiting for perfect means never finish. I see this kill more graduate project than anything else. Students wait and wait for their thesis to be perfect, and they never finish. Submit the paper depends on the thesis. You can improve in the next study. And don't work in isolation. Don't hide until you think your work is ready. Get feedback early and often. It makes your work better. Share work in progress. It's okay if it is not polished. Isolation is dangerous. You need feedback. You need perspective. You need encouragement. These principles work together. You need rigor and relevance. You need persistence and balance. You need to be strategic and collaborative. Think of which principles you are already practicing well and which you need to develop. This is a workshop activity. Uh, this is where everything comes together. I want to create personal research plan. You need to answer question in 4 areas. First, current assessment. Where are you now? And second, vision and goals. Where are you going? Third, action steps. How will you get there? Fourth, share with a partner. Your partner will listen carefully, offer encouragement, give suggestion if helpful, help you stay accountable. I think this activity you can try after uh, this workshop, this lecture with your colleague. You don't have to learn everything in workshop. Let me share some with you. For learning research method, YouTube has great channel. Statistics of Doom, qualitative research methods channel, uh, For improving academic writing, 3 excellent resources. Yeah, Purdue, OWL at owl.purdue.edu. Covers everything from grammar to citation styles and academic press bank. And this site is very useful. For Findings Journal, this site is for is useful for local resources. Trade Research Portal, maybe, and your university research office. For building networks, ResearchGate, Twitter, Facebook, bookmark them, actually use them. These resources are free or low cost, so there's no excuse not to access them. And research can be lonely, but it doesn't have to be. Building strong support network is essential. Let me give you 3 types of support you need. First, writing accountability groups. Second, mentors. Third, professional networks. Let me warn you about 4 traps that derail researchers. Perfectionism. You keep revising but never submit. Ignoring self-care. You work constantly. Sacrificing sleep and relationships. And overcommitting. You say yes to everything. The truth, you one good paper piece, 3 unfinished ones. People saying yes, ask, does this move me towards my goal? And working in isolation. You hide your work until it's perfect. Truth? Feedback only make work better. Join a writing group and share draft. Which trap are you most at risk for? Think of one strategy to avoid it. Remember, if you know the trap, you can avoid it. Before we finish, let's talk about celebrating progress, something we don't do enough in academia. You've come so far. Think about what is you've learned. Quantitative method, qualitative approaches, research ethics, and how to plan your journey. Acknowledge that small wins matter. We celebrate big achievements like graduating or publishing, but small wins count too. Completing a literature review, finishing data collection, submitting a paper, even if rejected, making a new research connections. Every small win is progress. So deliberate this moment. Keep a win journal. Share with your support network. Reward yourself. Build momentum. As we close, I want to remind you why you, as Filipino graduate students, can succeed in research. Three reasons your research matters. First, you understand the context. Second, you have access. Third, you care about impact. Let me be clear, the world needs your research. Philippine education needs researchers who understand it deeply, who have access to communities, and who care about real impact. You have what it takes. Your perspective matters. Your voice uh, deserves to be heard. When you doubt yourself, remember context, access, and genuine care. That is powerful combination. Yes, until now, uh, uh, final Q&A, please ask me uh, by email or chatting box. Uh, okay, that's finished. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Thank you so much.